Australia's no, that's not it. Australia's cheapest electric vehicle has arrived. It's called the BYD Atto 1. In other markets, you'll know it as the Dolphin Surf or the Seagull, but in Australia, it's going to line up in the Atto range of models. And that means that it's going to be very value focused and still have a surprising amount of standard spec and tech. Let's check it out, shall we? It's Atto 1 time. I'm so excited. Fully electric for a price that you might not believe. That's the promise for this new model, which is going to be offered with two different grades. The entry-level Essential with a smaller battery, less power and torque, and a price that is going to make your eyes water, I would suggest. And then there's this one here, the high-grade version, which is called Premium, and it does get a bigger battery and a bit more standard spec. Now, I'll tell you all the details about the battery stuff shortly, but as standard, you're going to get a good amount of gear, even in that entry-level grade. Things like a surround view camera system, so very city friendly, a whole heap of standard safety spec and tech, and some nice looking exterior elements as well. LED lighting, nice looking alloy wheels, and on the inside you're getting a fake leather trim in black and grey. We don't get all the color options that they get in other markets, but we do get 4 different exterior colors, so that might be something that'll tick your box. Yes, this one is coming, this yellow color. They call it green, but it's yellow. Now, what about the other stuff on the inside? There's a touchscreen media system, of course. It's a little bit smaller than some of the others in the BYD lineup, but still, it's a 10.1-inch screen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's a 7-inch digital instrument cluster, and you've got connected services included. There's power front seats, fake leather trim, as I said, a wireless phone charger, and plenty of other great inclusions for this little tiny car with a little tiny projected price. But hey, if you aren't sure about fully electric life and you want something little, what else could you consider? First, you got to have a look at a Kia Picanto, people, because it is a great petrol-powered little runabout. There's a few different versions available. You can still get it with a manual gearbox as well, if that's what you're after. And while it doesn't necessarily have as much premium feature content as this car does, it does certainly offer a very, very city-friendly size and comfort levels that might surprise. And then there are a couple of other options that you might be thinking about if you're looking for a budget-focused car. The Chery Tiggo 4 is one of them. It certainly does have a low starting price and a lot of standard kit. It leaves a little bit to be desired in terms of the drive experience, but it might be more appealing because it does have that SUV style. It starts at about $24,000 drive away, so it's cheap as compared to some of the others in the segment. And then if you are looking for a petrol electric hatchback experience, I reckon that the Suzuki Swift could be a good option. They call it a hybrid. It's a very mild hybrid, but it's still a very likable little hatchback with good space on the inside, and it's just been improved with some better safety as well. Would you choose any of those, or is this going to be the right car for you? Have your say in the comments. Obviously, if you're thinking about the BYD Atto 1, you're thinking small, and this is a very, very small car. Less than 4 meters in length on a 2.5 meter wheelbase. You'll see all the dimensions on your screen, and it is going to be a city-focused offering for city customers. And I mean, maybe if you live rural, it'll still fit your needs, but it's certainly going to fit in lots of parking spots because it is diminutive. There's no doubt about that. I bloody love the design of this car. I think it looks absolutely fantastic, and I'd love to know if you agree with me or not. Have your say in the comments. Now let's have a look at the back here. It does have a reasonably good sized boot. No electric tailgate for this one, but who cares? It's very, very light, and the boot space is not necessarily light on. It does offer a good amount of cargo capacity. You'll see the volume on your screen. It's not necessarily offering all the amenities that you might be hoping for. You're not going to find shopping bag hooks or lights or a cargo cover or anything like that, but it's an affordable vehicle built to an affordable price. Underneath the floor, you won't find a spare either, just excuse the crumbs, but it is probably deep enough to add your charging cables or some extra hidden stuff. But look, it's certainly a little car, but the boot is probably bigger than you might be expecting. Now let's check out the rest of the interior. When I checked this car out in China, there were a few different interior options on offer that maybe weren't to all tastes, but this one is a much more sedate but still stylish looking interior in my opinion. I like this grey section that runs across the dash onto the doors, and it even runs down onto these fake leather seats. And I do think that these seats are extremely comfy for a little car like this. Electrically adjustable on both sides, which is great. And there's other considerations for these seats as well. You can access some elements of that on the screen here. Go on here and you've got front seat heating, as you can see right there. So look, that's great to see. And you've obviously got also your air conditioning. It does have just sort of manual climate control. It's not like to the exact temperature, but hey, it's on there. And you've got a fan adjuster there as well. Look, this screen, I'm not going to go into heaps of detail until I get a chance to drive it in more detail later on, but you've got a little quick section of controls there. It's got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's quite small, but hey, I'm actually okay with that because it means that you can see over the top of it pretty easily. And visibility is obviously a big concern for a car like this, but hey, there's another great thing to keep in mind here. This surround view camera system, standard, very, very parking friendly. If you want to quickly jump around the car like that, you can. You can have it in 2D mode. You can see what's going on there. So, yep, screen, I mean, we'll go into more detail later on. But this screen here, don't pay attention to that efficiency number because this car's been thrashed by people that love it like me. But yes, little driver info screen. It's a bit more basic, but it's built to a price, remember? And you've got decent controls on the steering wheel. It's a nice feeling steering wheel as well, and conventional setup here for your blinkers and wipers. So blinkers are on the wrong side if you believe that's the case. Wipers on that side. And if you're wondering where your gear selector is, it's here. Yep, it's a fun little twisty shifter with a park button on the end. There are some other controls there, so you can go to your drive modes by toggling down on that little one there, and you've got a wet weather terrain mode as well, so it will sort of retard things a little bit in terms of the acceleration. You've got climate stuff to a degree there as well, not heaps. You've got a volume scroller, which is pretty good, I would say. Little nice directional vents here, a couple of USB ports including USB-C and an SD card as well, and a 12-volt wireless phone charger, and you've got a good little storage section underneath. Good size cup holders, no hidden storage between the seats, but that is a soft padded armrest, so that should do the trick. And you've got a glove box, which is okay. You've got pockets that are reasonably large, and overhead you'll find that you've got a set of illuminated vanity mirrors because it matters, and yes, non-adjustable visors, but at least it's pretty good. Now here you've got a driver monitoring camera. Can't tell whether that is going to be annoying in terms of the real drive experience. Some of the other safety stuff we'll get to later on too, but this cabin feels great. I like that the seats are comfy. It's maybe not as low slung as I would potentially like my seat to sit. I would like to sit just a little bit lower down, but hey, it gives you a good field of view from the driver's seat. But let's check out the back seat and see what it's like. Surprisingly excellent space in the back here. For someone 6 foot, I can fit behind my own driving position with knee room and foot room and headroom to spare. It's actually really, really good for a tiny, tiny little car. It feels bigger than some mid-sized SUVs, which is really surprising, right? Overhead, you've got grab handles, which is great. What is missing back here? Lighting, and you've got a dark headliner. So it will be dark. If you've got kids, keep that in mind. It will be hard to load them in and out at nighttime, and they might not be happy with the fact that there are no directional air vents in the back either. It is a small cabin, but hey, I think that that is still a miss. But there is a good little storage section down there, as you can see. You've got storage on the seat backs as well, and there are bottle holders down in the doors, soft elbow pads, and the two-tone stuff really sort of livens things up in the back, but hard plastic on the door toppers. Now, back here, you've also got ISOFIX points, 2 of them, and 2 top tethers, because it's strictly a 4-seater. It is not a middle seat optionable thing. So if you aren't okay with 4 seats, well, too bad. This car is going to be the wrong car for you. But I think that for a lot of people, considering the size and the space on offer, it could well be the right car. All right, there's going to be two different versions of the Atto one on sale in Australia. The Essential, as I mentioned, it's the cheaper one, and it's got a much smaller battery pack, a 30 kilowatt hour battery with just 220 Ks of claimed driving range. It's also got less power and torque, but yes, we'll talk about that in the next section of the video. And then there's the premium one, which is this one here, which gets a 43.2 kilowatt hour battery pack and a claimed 310 Ks of WLTP rated range. But according to BYD, the city range, which is where this car is going to do lots of its driving, is actually more than 500 kilometers from a very small battery. That is impressive. It gets more power and torque too. We'll talk about that next, but let's have a look at your charging considerations here. Yep, charge port is on the front driver's side of the car, so street parkers take note. And you do have, of course, AC charging. You'll see the maximum charge rate on your screen and how long it should take to recharge. And then DC fast charging, yes, you do have it. It's only a small battery. It should be pretty quick to rapidly charge it up, but it's not necessarily the fastest charging because it is, you know, more of an affordable car. But I do think that if you can live with where that charge port is positioned, if you're a street parker in particular, it might be a very, very city-friendly thing. But let's talk about how much power it's got. Now, as I mentioned, the Essential grade is the far less powerful option in this range. It's got a 65 kilowatt, 175 Newton meter front mounted electric motor. That means it's front wheel drive only. And the 0 to 100 time for it is 11.1 seconds. It's also lighter than the big brother, the premium version, which gets the bigger battery pack. It also gets more power and torque. This is the premium right here. 115 kilowatts, 220 Newton meters from its front mounted electric motor, 0 to 100 in 9.1 seconds, but it's the 0 to 50 that really matters for a city car like this, and I'll show you how speedy it is in a sec. And yes, you could probably find yourself an accessory frunk fitment from China, because I know that they are available that you can buy. And what about the weights? Well, the curb weight for the entry-level one is 1294 kg, so still light, but not as light as some other cars this size, and 1390 kilos for the high grade model. Now, it's time to go drive it. Now, when it comes to the drive experience, I'm not surprised to report that there is quite a bit of noise intrusion in this car. Cheap little cars do tend to throw quite a bit of wind noise and road noise into the cabin. This one is no exception. There is a bit of rustle around the top of the pillars here and around the mirrors as well. But look, I don't think it's going to be unacceptable. It's just you might need to raise your voice or turn up the volume. And also, I mean, again, this is going to be more at home in city situations where you might not necessarily be driving at 110 Ks an hour like I am. So yeah, that will be something worth remembering if you are just going to buy this as a runaround. Now, this road surface that I'm driving on at Lang Lang, which is a proving ground outside Melbourne, where they used to fine-tune Holdens, it does offer a mix of different stuff to basically see what real world driving will be like. Now, I'm not doing traffic light stop start stuff here. I'm doing more higher speed and lumps and bumps and country road style testing. And I do have to say, I think that the experience is not too bad in terms of the ride. It is a small, light car with a relatively long wheelbase, so the ride comfort is pretty well considered. It is a little bit wobbly and also slightly a little bit firm feeling over the sharp bumps and lumps, but I reckon for a lot of urban commuters, which is where this car is going to be targeted, it will still offer a comfortable enough experience over the inconsistencies that we find on our city streets. Now, the steering, I have found this to be a pretty joyful little car to drive in terms of the handling, and the steering, well, it is, yeah, kind of similar to what I said in my last video where I did this car in China. It's like a Volkswagen Up that's fully electric. It's fun, it has a good amount of weight to the steering, and there's also different drive modes as well if you do want to try and see what it's like in Eco. That slows things down a bit. In Sport, it makes the throttle a little bit more urgent and the steering a little bit heavier. And I mean, as I said before, it's not necessarily about 0 to 100 times with this car, it's about 0 to 50 times. So I'm gonna do one right now just as a quick little urban stop-start test. I mean, not really stop-starting in an urban situation, but we'll do it here anyway. Here we go. Yep, we're at 50 like that. So yeah, you're gonna get away from the lights quicker than other people. And then the on throttle application is pretty good as well. So if you are cruising along, say, 50 to 60 Ks an hour, and then you just need a little bit more grunt, you get that very, very quickly. It is quite joyful in terms of the acceleration. The one thing that maybe will be harder for some people to get their head around is the brake pedal feel, because if you are on and off the brakes a lot, you might find that it's not necessarily as natural feeling underfoot as some other cars. But it does have regen braking. It's set on the highest mode right now. We're going 70 Ks an hour, and it is gonna slow us down gradually. It's not as assertive as some of the other single pedal driving modes, which can really jam on the anchors or the fake anchors to improve the regen capability. But look, we're still slowing. So it's not aggressive in terms of the regen braking, but the actual pedal feel might take a little bit of getting used to, I would suggest. And then there's the visibility. I mean, you've got reasonably good sized mirrors. You've got a good view out from your mirror up here, which is not an auto dimming mirror, which is a disappointment. But I think that the fact that you've got that excellent camera system will make it city friendly. There's parking sensors as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a fairly good fit for those who live in the tight bits. The Atto 1 could well be the one for a lot of people who are looking for a city runaround that's fully electric and has new car warranty and plenty of smarts. There's heaps of standard spec and tech. I really do think that this could be a great choice for lots of different buyers out there, and I'd love to know if you agree with me. Have your say in the comments section. Do you think that you would choose the Atto 1? And do you think you'd choose it in this color? I love it. I'm gonna go put my order in right now, maybe. Thanks for watching. See you when I see ya.